Blue, 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 where are you? See, he's just chilling right now. He's just waiting. He's just waiting to see something run somewhere. This is the killer attack dog. He's out and about. All right, let's just sit and watch for a second. What's that? Go. Okay, come on. Come on. You don't see that sitting over there? You. Oh, come on, dog. Really? Blue, blue. Blue. Go get it. Go get it. Go get it. Go get it. Oh, you dumb dog. Come on. Come on, boy. Come on. Go get it. Get it, boy. Get it. Go get it. Go get it. Go get it. Look. 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 Shh. Get him, boy. Get him. Get him. Look. Blue. Look. You are the. I know he'll never get him. That's why I encourage it. But there he goes. That's the blue. Yeah. Yeah, you're learning. That's pretty good. He'll figure it out. You know, the Huskies, they're very smart. In fact, they're too smart. And the problem with that is they sometimes outsmart their owners. And I don't know. I mean, you've got like the Belgian Malinois, which is like the athletic, it's like the athlete on steroids, the dog on steroids. Those things can climb walls 20 feet tall. Now, if you had the brains of the Husky inside of that Belgian Malinois, yeah, I don't know. They're both very intelligent dogs, to be honest with you. But this Husky, he finds ways around things. You set up little barriers, or you want to keep him out of something, or you just don't want him, whatever. He'll find a way into it. He'll definitely get into it. But likewise, what that also means is, you know, they're that intelligent to the point where you can train them really well. They're stubborn. That happens, you know, but overall, you know, Blue is a good find. He found us, actually. We were out at camp one night, and this dog come walking up, scared the crap out of my brother, because when we got the flashlights on him, my brother saw him first, and he was like licking my brother's hand in the dark. You know, my brother's like flipped out and put the light on the dog, and the dog is, you know, my brother's like, it's a coyote. Oh, you know, like my brother was going to get attacked or something. Well, it turned out it was just good old Blue. He was actually a pup. He found us. We went and we did all those things that you're supposed to go do. We took him to the vet, had him scanned for a chip. There's no chip. We put the flyers out, but heck, we've had him for, I'd imagine, about a year now. I'm thinking, and he's just been a good dog. He won't leave. You know, we left him out many a nights out in the open and he just lay down next to the RV and just he'd be there in the morning. So he likes us, we like him. Good boy. Now I got to find something I need to cut up here. I think I'm going to pick up where I left off yesterday. So let's do it like this. I don't think I'm hitting a stump right here. No, good. I just want to do a little bit of cutting, just a little bit. So let's get the camera set up. It's actually nice today. It's not even windy. I tell you, this wind gets a roaring sometimes, man. You can't do a whole lot. All the phone wants to do is fall over and just be more of a headache than what it's worth. So I don't even go live a lot of times. Unless it's real early in the morning and it's cold and I gotta light a fire. Or if it's late at night and cold and I gotta light a fire. So let's set you up here. That's gonna be an issue. I think that'll remain stable. Let's get the picture straighter. That should be beautiful right there. Alrighty, so we're just gonna oil up and gas up the chainsaw. It's a Stihl 461, 25-inch bar. Oh yeah. Give her some fuel. I made a shorter video last night, or yesterday evening, and it went in and it started processing, you know, as they normally do. They start processing, and I went to look for it again last night as I was wrapping up, and it was gone. It's not there anymore, so I guess that happens once in a while. Kind of sucked because, you know, it was a decent video as well. I thought it was, at least. All right, we're just putting some bar oil in the bar oil reservoir. I know you can't see anything on the screen yet, but just give me a second here. I gotta get my gloves out of the truck. Make sure the chain is good. Chain is fine. Let me get some gloves. I like having this wireless microphone. I mean, I could see it working bad in the same ways. It's been doing good because, you know, it's so easy to forget about it and, you know, be on a live or be recording or whatever and walk up to somebody, you know, just step away from the camera and walk up to somebody and start having a private conversation. And before you know it, you just blasted all your personal information or whatever it is out there online. And yeah, it's not good. But as far as presentation, it's so much better. You can have You can have the most awesomest video in the world, but if your audio sucks, it takes it down to, your video is worthless at that point. At least in my opinion, it is. And you could have, yeah, if your audio sucks, your video sucks. So I figured the best thing we could do is actually just get the proper audio. The video can be worthless, but as long as you can hear me or hear, what's trying to be said or whatever, that makes it so much better. Because the microphones on the phones, they suck. I mean, they're good if you're holding it up to your face or whatever, but you get like 5 feet away and you start losing it. And plus, they have a tendency to pick up like the wind noises and all those other things versus, having the separate microphone. They're actually, they're made to not do that. You got to look at it like this. Sometimes when you want something that's really good, you got to get it separate. You got to get something that's separate, because what they're trying to do in that phone is they're adding all these programs and they're adding all these other features and all that stuff. And they just don't have enough room in these phones to put, the noise cancellation and, the specialized editing software and all that kind of stuff. It's like when you buy a car, if you want to start souping it up, you get your, one part from this company and another part from that company, and pretty soon you got, your stock car is now basically a hodgepodge of all these different parts, but it's a badass car at that point. It's like a specialty market. You got to put a little bit of an investment into it and buy those devices from those people that do it best, And like I said, the phone is a phone, and that's all it is, and it really wasn't meant to be like a movie studio, I guess, if you would. Alrighty, we are ready. Let's do this. I'll give you a little bit of a turn here. There you go. Let me fix my pant legs real quick. See, now with the phone, when I start this chainsaw, just with the stock microphone that's in the phone, once the chainsaw starts, you can't hear anything. Of course, once I walk 5 feet away, you can't hear anything anyway. But I've already done a little test. I can actually talk to you as I'm cutting with the chainsaw wide open, and you can still hear me. I've already tested that part of the microphone out. Because that was the main thing, like I said, if you don't have good audio, your video sucks. I don't care how good it is. And it sucks to have to go and voice over everything too later on. Alrighty, 461. Compression release, choke all the way on. Pull it till she bangs like that. Take the choke halfway off, hit the decompression. She's running. Now we got to make sure the bar's getting oil. Yep, she's nice and wet. Well, I guess I should have mapped out what I was going to cut first, but that's all right. Alrighty. Yeah, the last time I sharpened this chain, I cut the rakers a little low intentionally, just make it a little more aggressive. So she cuts pretty aggressive. She's throwing out decent chips. When I was first beginning to sharpen my own chains, there was a chain that I ran the rakers way down, and it was so aggressive that basically it got caught up every time I started to, cut a piece of wood. And so I ended up just setting that chain aside and went and bought another one. But that's what it takes, it's a trial and error. What I thought I was doing was good, but in reality it was bad. But I took that knowledge and I moved forward with it. And so I've learned how to kind of balance the depth of the rakers and the abilities of the saw, because that's the bottom line what it is. All right. That's a cut that somebody else didn't finish. So we gotta finish this one off. It looks like I'm gonna have to just stop and take some time and clear out all this wood that's already been cut. Nice hardwood right there. Oh yeah, nice and heavy. Oh boy. All right. Yeah, it appears to me that I'm going to have to just take and probably move some of this stuff around. I might even have to hook up the chain and pull some of this stuff out of here. That's an awful lot of wood to split right there. You should have seen this pile in the beginning. It was pretty awesome. We've basically got it all cut down. I mean, there's a few large logs in there, but I got to get rid of all this other crap. I got to start moving this cut wood. I either got to split it or just get it out of the way. Actually, I really have to do both. I got to split it. I got to get it out of the way and split it. So it feels like it's going to be about 80 degrees today here in Southern California in the high desert. For those that know, I'm basically in Victorville, California. That's the high desert. It's starting to warm up. Now we have customers that come along, they buy their wood in the off season. They'll buy their wood like in, let's say next month, May. Between May and June, they'll start buying their wood. And it's a total of 6 cords. It might even be, actually, I think it's 8 cords total, because we've got a monopoly on a neighborhood. And they all want, we want this many truckloads and blah, 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 blah. And a truckload is a half a cord, basically. And so we've got, if it's going to be like 8 cords, that's 16 truckloads. And this right here, this will work to fulfill most of it, or a good part of it at least. And then there's other piles behind me that you can't see right now, but so we've got a lot of splitting to do. We don't really have a whole lot in reserves. I mean, if we had to deliver a cord right now, we could do it easily. That's 2 truckloads. Actually, we'd probably do 4 truckloads, so that's 2 cords. We could deliver it right now if we had to. That's split and ready to go. But we'd like to split ahead, and keep ahead of the stuff. That way when people call and they order it, we're able to deliver it right there on the spot. That way they don't have a chance to change their mind or anything like that. But the prices are so damn good anyway. It's people, they really don't want to go anywhere else, because we do have pretty much the lowest prices in the high desert. And it's not a professional operation. We don't have a bunch of people that we got to pay. It's a low overhead, so we can get away with it. And it's, the mixture's usually about, I try to make it like a 60-40. The 40 of hardwood and 60 of softwood.
and exactly what type of woods they are. I can identify eucalyptus, and I can identify evergreen, which is basically most of your pine woods and stuff like that. But, I mean, there's some hardwoods that I've cut into out here. I don't know what the hell they are, and they explode when you start to split them because of the grain. You get them down into that splitter, and that splitter, it starts to fight and it really wants to get down through it, and then all of a sudden it lets go and bang, it blows a chunk of wood 10 feet away. It's pretty awesome stuff. So there's a lot of danger in this. And the chainsaw that I started out with before was it was a 025, which is now what they call the 250. And that's a little thing. It had a little bar on it, and I was out here trying to cut this big stuff with it, and ultimately I ended up burning the thing up. And so we just decided we would upgrade to the 460. I wanted the 400 series no matter what. And we ran across this 461 actually, and it's when you get into the 460 models, they make different varieties of that, and there's the 461, and one variety of that 461 is a rescue. I think they call it a rescue chainsaw. In other words, your fire departments, your forestry firefighters, it's geared more towards them. I think it's just slightly souped up a little bit, and I don't know, whatever else they do to it, but it's like the rescue version of it, and that's what we have. Because we got a neighbor that works for the United States Department of Forestry, and we are really close to the United States Department of Forestry here. We got mountains behind us that you can't see right now. But he actually works for me. He sold us one of his used saws for a pretty darn good price. And I would imagine if they don't actually give him the saw, they probably they sell it to him at one hell of a rate. So we picked up this one here. And of course, it took me burning that other one up. Again, this goes back into the experience part of things. You get experience by doing stuff. And if you're not screwing stuff up, if you're not breaking something, if something doesn't go wrong, then you're not really doing a whole lot of work. And I'm blessed with enough knowledge and the ability to see ahead, and the ability to figure things out. Okay, well, you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that. So this new saw here, well, the new U saw, I've been able to take care of it a lot better, because this is one hell of an investment versus the other little steel that I was using. But yeah, that's one thing in life. If it's like Thomas Edison, they say that he went through 1,000 different filaments in order to figure out the light bulb. And that wasn't 1,000 failures. That's 1,000 points of learning right there. Okay, well, we learned that doesn't work. That doesn't work. And finally he found that tungsten or whatever it was, and bam, here we are today. And that mentality, it carries over. It really does. It carries over into your into the rest of your life. It could even go for relationships, working on your car, even driving down the road. Okay, well, we're not going to turn right without looking first. Well, you learn to look first. Everything's just a build off. Everything builds off the last bit of knowledge. And as long as the capacity is available, if you have the capacity to continue to learn, you're okay. Now there's one thing about, I don't know, you could actually throw this up in the air. People can learn things and they would know it for right there on the spot, but then again, they kind of don't retain it. And so I've kind of come up with this little theory that it doesn't matter what you learn, it matters what you actually retain. So when you encounter that situation again, you can recall what's happened before and work off of that. Common sense is one of those things that's really gone away in this part of the world drastically. I'm 51 years old, and I'm just like a sponge for information. I just soak things up. But I can tell you, based on the driving habits, the way people drive, when I first started driving, this was back in I don't know, 1989, 1988. Actually, I was driving a lot earlier than that, but it was illegal, and that's a whole different story. But so legally driving, it was like 89, somewhere in that area I was driving. And the habits of people, the way they drove back then, have dramatically changed. I mean, it's a totally different set of rules on the road now. And I don't mean it like that. The consideration, you know, people are so inconsiderate, they're so rude, and they don't look, they just, you know, I don't know. But I kind of judge the intelligence of America based on the overall average of the way people drive. And based on that alone, America has become stupid over the past, you know, couple of decades. It's incomprehensible. It's so stupid. Even the most basic of things, you know, pull over for emergency vehicles, or, you know, just whatever. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that when I went to school, we had driver's ed. And driver's ed is one of those things that they've taken out of the curriculum nowadays. Hell, they don't even want to teach cursive handwriting anymore, you know. And that's because we had that federal Department of Education, and I'm glad they got rid of that thing, because you know what? Here we go on a different little tangent. The Department of Education was ran by a bunch of people living in or working or whatever they do in Washington, D.C. The problem with that is there are so many different, I don't know what you want to call it, like cultural differences, or this state in this area has one way of, you know, doing things, and even the same state, you go to a different part of the state and they have their own little way of doing things. But the Department of Education back east wanted to, you know, dictate what we learn out here, and that's not right, because those people back east don't live out here. They don't understand, you know, this is the way this part of the world is. And I'm not saying America is totally different, but there are their little like sections or little cliques, if you will. And honestly, only those that live in those cliques or get to see those cliques every day, they should be the ones to actually figure out, well, we need to teach the kids in this style. We need to teach this and do this way. We don't need some centralized form of government back east that doesn't have a clue to how in the hell we live out here to try to tell us what we need to learn. And I'm glad they got rid of that, because you know what? That gave the power back to the states. Now it's up to your independent school boards, even the different school districts. They do what they want. Everything, there's a standard, there's a set of guidelines that they have to follow, but the teachers know, because the teachers live in that area and they understand that stuff, you know. I'm not the best with words and trying to explain things, but that's just the gist of it. So I'm glad they got rid of that Department of Education. I'll tell you right now, I'm a big supporter of the Doge. I am a Donald Trump fan. I'm not a Trumper. I'm an actual diehard fan. The guy's doing good. You know, everybody's picking on him, all you Democrat Biden lovers. You guys suck, man. You guys really screwed this place up. And now, you know, if you really have a good argument, I'll tell you this: if you really want to argue, and I'm going to go political on this one. If you really want to argue the Democrats and the Republicans, why don't you just stop, turn off your NBC, and go start searching for those old speeches and those old little get-ups that the Democrats had. Barack Obama, this is probably the most recent one. Barack Obama, back a few years ago, said, well, I don't have that magic wand. There is no magic wand. You can't bring those jobs back to America. Those jobs are long gone. That's it. In fact, the population today has to learn the skills of the new jobs because the old jobs are gone. Really? Do you see what's happening? Okay. Nancy Pelosi sitting up there talking about how China has these massive tariffs against us, and we only have this amount of tariffs, and she says these are job killers and stuff like that. And then she's like, well, we support China in like 10 million jobs, and the jobs that they give us is only like 2,500 or whatever. It's just ridiculous. About everything that they talked about and everything that they bitched about and complained about and cried in the streets and burned down houses and whatever else. They said all of that. They said all of that stuff. And you know what? Now that we actually have somebody in office that's doing it, now they're pulling their hair out. They can't stand it. they can't stand it. Oh, we got a fire going on. Oh boy, check this out. This is fresh news. It's over there. You know what? We might have to take a ride. You guys want to go for a ride? I don't know. Let's see what I can do here. Hold on. This is one thing about living out in the desert. You kind of see these things tick off like this. And then we're going to be looky-loos possibly. Yeah. I don't know, it doesn't look like it's really growing much. It's more than a tractor because, you know, sometimes when tractors take off or tractors start up, they kind of smoke a lot. Oh no. Hey. Hey. Knock, knock. Hello? Damn it. Let's see what it looks like, see if it's actually starting up here. Huh. I don't really see it now. Yeah, it's probably something that just kicked off. Darn it. Thought I was going to go out and see a big fire going on. I thought I saw a fire going on over yonder, but it seems like it's not a fire anymore. What do you got? Beef? Do you need me to cook it? What is it?
Pork.
Pork?
Yeah, for stew, you know, stew pork, you know, like green chili verde.
Well, I've never heard of pork being called beef.
Oh, well, there's ground beef there.
Okay.
There's the legs cut off.
Well, I thought we had a fire to go look at, but I guess not. So I'll go back in the back and continue doing what I was doing. But yeah, standing back there. You know, the elevation difference between here and there is it's significant.
Well, it's not that much.
It's probably 20.
20 feet.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, would you plug my phone in?
Where's your phone at?
Right here.
I don't have the chargers in the.
Oh, okay.
Do you have a charger available? Like,
Well, there's one here, but I just need the cord.
I don't have the cord either. Everything's put away. Yeah, let me go get it. I'll go get it. Hold on.
I got one.
Get the charger and the cord?
Yep.
Okay.
Charger's in here.
Then we have a, believe it or not, it looks like a horse, but the lady next door, she says it's a mule. I mean, that's the horsiest looking mule I've ever seen in my life. that blue, blue? Is that the blue, 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 blue? So I sent Blue's picture. I don't know if you saw it or not, but I sent Blue's picture to a fellow YouTuber last night.
Oh, yeah?
They put it up on their background, and everybody in their channel was like, "Oh, how cute! Oh, yeah,
Really?
yeah,
Then you should charge them for that.
yeah." That's a good idea.
Huh?
That's a good idea.
Fuck yeah. Fuck it, charge them. Make them pay. That's how you get started.
Oh, we actually have questions here. We have Destiny. Hey, Destiny. What is up? Well, the sunlight's up. That's for sure. Now, I just thought we were going to go on a little venture here and look for a fire, but apparently the fire's not burning anymore. So, and when I mean fire, it's big. If you look at my channel, you'll understand. I'm only into the big stuff. It's me and 4 me people. So there, I'm assuming you're saying 4. There's 4 of you there. Well, I appreciate y'all. Do me a favor and hit that like button. Too bad there wasn't 4 different computers. You could have like 4 different likes. I could use a little help here. I'm growing this channel. This channel is basically about fire. I've got a lot of wood stuff in there, woodworking, as far as like, you know, cutting logs and splitting them and all that kind of stuff. But I like to burn things. I mean, set things on fire. So if you get a chance, go through my channel. You'll see there's 2 videos you really need to see. One of them, believe it or not, is I'm on the news, the local Channel 9 news here, KCAL 9. It's about Jack in the Box and how they rip people off. And then there's another video that I highly recommend. It's called The Resistance to Heat. That's the start of the title. And you'd be surprised on some certain objects that we use every day in our lives and how well they hold up to a little bit of heat. Hey, do you have that charger ready?
Already got it charging.
Oh, well, never mind that. I've been standing here for nothing. So we're going to go back out here to the wood pile. Off in the distance, I thought I'd seen some sort of a big fire. Like I said, I'm only into the big stuff. If it ain't big, I don't care. And it looked like it was taking off and just starting, but now that I'm over here, gave it a couple of minutes, it really died down. So either they got it put out or it wasn't as big as I thought it was. So we'll just go back up to the pile and continue cutting. So I thought I would try a Monday morning live because I'm just starting out. I'm at about 600 subscribers. And I'm just really kind of starting out on this live thing. I've got a few lives, but what I'm really trying to do is I'm trying to find that sweet spot where I could obtain the most viewers in the shortest amount of time. And you know what? Now that I think about it, that's greedy. I should continue to just go around, you know, find a specific time and be consistent with that time. But then again, also throw stuff out there for those that, you know, they just might be interested for that moment. I like to share, you know. I'm really into sharing. And if I got something going on and people want to watch it, I'll put it up. And even if nobody wants to watch it, I'll still put it up. It doesn't matter to me, you know. I'm doing something. I might as well, you know, expose my life to the world. And that's another thing. You got people out here, they just want to, you know, talk about everything and everything and everything. It's like, where's the privacy at? They don't allow themselves any privacy. So let's get the camera set back up here. I need to pull forward a little bit more here. Come on. Yeah, we'll shoot from this angle here. Beautiful. That should be a pretty good view. So just starting out, I know that there's some advantages and disadvantages to what I've witnessed on lives and stuff like that. And one of the key things that I really figured out was audio. If you, like I said before, you could have the greatest video in the world, but if you can't hear what's going on, or if the video sucks, the video doesn't mean anything. Like I said, it could be the greatest video in the world. It means nothing if you can't really hear what's going on. So I invested in the lower end of the high dollar stuff, if that makes sense. I didn't go to this $20 Amazon and stuff like that. I decided I would buy in on the high grade stuff, but on their lower scale. And so that's probably why you hear me so clearly right now. And I'm away from the phone by a few feet. And I learned right away, in the very beginning, that just walking away from the phone, just even like 2 or 3 steps, it ruins the audio. It totally does. So by investing in a small microphone, little setup, it's about $150 to be honest with you, when it's all said and done. It makes everything much nicer, because I could go out there in the middle of that wood pile and still just talk to you in a normal voice, and you can hear me like I'm standing next to the phone. It does help. It really does. So this is advice for anybody out there. Don't rely on that microphone on your phone or your microphone on your camera. Invest. Make a little investment. Get that audio going. All right. Well, what I see is I got to do a lot of moving here. I got to move a lot of this cut wood out of the way so I can get to that stuff that hasn't been cut yet. I think my next investment is I want a camera. I'd really like to have a camera to where I could wear it on me. I guess they got these glasses that you can wear that have cameras in them. I don't know what the video quality's like. And in that way you can, if they're glasses, you're going to see exactly what I'm looking at the same time. That'd be a good thing. Or maybe like a body mount or something I could wear like up on my chest or up on my shoulder that would, put you directly face to face to what I'm looking at. That's my next thing I'm gonna invest in. But yeah, I've got a bunch of cut wood here that really needs to get moved out of the way so I can cut more wood. So I guess I'll spend a few minutes and do that. And of course the wind kicks in, but hopefully this audio system can kind of drown out that wind and just carry my voice only. Man, what a mess. I almost need to move the splitter so I don't have to move the wood. In fact, let's move the splitter. Yeah, we'll do that. I want to back that thing right up into here. Yeah, that'd be perfect. Handle the wood with the right hand and throw it out with the left hand. That'll be perfect. There's the splitter. You gotta go get it. We got the big stuff in the middle of it. in the path. Let's see how we can do this here. I could do that. Hell yeah.
Beep, 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 beep. Yeah. Not on this truck. Oh, I would say probably somewhere like right around, oh, there-ish. Come on. Oh. I just hit the splitter, so let's go look at what we've done here. Oh man, the logs are in my way. Can't open the door. Oh, okay. That'll work. Gotta shut the tailgate. Yeah, that'll work all right. Let me pull forward about 8 inches or so. Then, of course, you know, you see, got the big logs right here that the door's hitting on. It's a tight fit. So let's pull forward about that 8 inches or so. Probably right there-ish. Yeah. Go a little bit more. It sucks because, yeah, it's getting tighter and tighter to get in and out of this damn thing. That's got to be it right there. We might be able to swing that one. And there we go. Just like that. Oh, you know what I forgot? I gotta put the hydraulics up. This is where the muscle comes in. That's that. Yeah, that little grunt and groan, it actually helps. It's like in those Chinese, the old Bruce Lee movies. You always hear them going, "Hi, yeah," whenever they move. It does help. All right, so we have Mr. Splitter tied on. And we are rolling. We're not gonna make this here. We'll jackknife the splitter a little bit. There we go. All right, we'll clear that. And of course the wind is blowing on me. That probably blows out the audio. That's all right. Okay, so I want to back in that away. So what that means is I got to go around. I got to go make a big U-turn here. No fear, because we have plenty of room to U-turn here. We'll just go around our. This is our deadfall. This is what's falling on the property here, as far as our own trees and stuff like that. The pile was much bigger. A lot of the fires that you see me start up on my lives, it actually contains quite a bit of this, and we've been burning it up slowly but surely.
So as you can see, we've made this nice big U-turn. And we're gonna go right on back over into there. Oh yeah, this is gonna be beautiful. That's how you do it right there. Yeah, screw taking your wood to your splitter. You take your splitter to the wood. Okay, so we gotta go there. A little bit of this, that kicks it that way. Turn the wheel back the other way. This is backing a trailer. And these little things, they're tough because it's such a sharp tongue on it. Even the smallest correction it'll be too much, you know. That just didn't sound right for some reason. See, I've got a broken, you see my right hand mirror right there will come to a stop. Yeah, somebody backed up into something and they snapped that mirror. So when I look in that mirror, I actually see like the same objects, but like 3 or 4 different angles. Makes it a little tough. Okay. You got to kind of, you know, pick one little piece of that mirror and work with it. Yeah, we're still running into that stump right there. So let me pull forward so I can see the whole thing here. In fact, I'm going to just set you down for a second. Have no fear. I'm still here. Okay, so I go that way. Just a little bit. There we go. Get you right back into that little sweet spot back there. Well, we'll get out and take a look. That might be it. That might be the spot. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay. Bam. Pick all that stuff up on the right. Bring it over to the splitter. Split it, and as we're splitting and we have our right hand on this control, we can grab pieces and throw it off here to the left. Yeah, a little bit of forethought in the planning really makes a big difference. So let's remove the splitter. Come on, baby. There we go. Bam. Done deal. Then we got to move this crap out of the way. Now I can start going over here and just picking up these pieces and getting them, you know, chopped up. Split up, chopped up. Some sort of up. Like this right here, we're gonna lift this up. I'm gonna be over here. Hey! And there you go. I've got a lot of work to do here. A lot of splitting. So what we're going to do is, it's about that lunchtime, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and end this live here pretty soon. I do appreciate you guys if you hung around long enough. Go ahead and hit the likes, man. Doesn't cost you anything, helps me out a little bit. Hit the likes. Subscribe if you want to see some more. We're going to be doing some splitting here in probably about an hour or so. It is 11:42, close enough to lunchtime. So I'm gonna go get some lunch and I'll be back in a little while. I appreciate y'all. Love you. Thank you. Talk to you later.